Hello and good evening. Welcome everybody. Today I am another watercolour. So we're doing lots of different watercolouring today, and pencils are on the table. That's just suddenly thought I hadn't got them here. Anyway, watercolour month. So we're trying to do lots of different techniques with making the most out of watercolouring, and be it whichever medium we're using. So we're loosely flowing inks and making some lovely cards. So welcome to Sandra's Stampin' Craft Studio, and hi Maxine, lovely to see you. So I'm in the right place. I'm just going to get me in the corner there, and I will bring you my table. So today I'm going to introduce you to some new products, and I mean brand new. They've literally arrived yesterday, and they are from some online exclusives that I've ordered. So I'm going to show you those, but I'm going to backtrack a little bit and just show you what I'm using tonight first. So tonight I will be using Coffee with Friends, and it's on page 105 in the Annual Catalogue down this corner here. So if I just get that out of the shadow there, you'll be able to see that stamp set in the corner. So that's £24 here, and you've got it tells me here, doesn't it? 9 cling stamps on there. Okay, so that's the stamp set for tonight. I like to use things hot off the press for you so that you can see new product. But I do, just to put that aside for one little moment, because I want to show you first some new products that I think are going to be really hot topics. So in our online exclusives, you've possibly seen things we've already shared about online exclusives. There is a beautiful set. Now we've had the sleigh set live already. That was like an early one for demos to pre-order. I wasn't that fussed about that one. I wanted to wait and see what else was coming, so I waited my turn. And the papers are from that set. That's an early release, but these are now available to everybody. Hi, lots of people all coming in at once. So these are some Christmas papers that go along with the sleigh set. Okay, so I wanted to run past these with you because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 designs, but you also have another 12 on the back. Okay, so you've got some lovely papers here. So it's literally hot off the press. They arrived yesterday. So I wanted to run through and show you the papers first. So if I show you like this, the front and the backs. Okay, we're not using the Christmas ones tonight, but I wanted to show you because these are going to be hot topics, especially the bundle I show you next. So this is the first one. Okay, so I'll pop that to one side. Then this is the second one. I've got these upside down now, haven't I? Let's turn them over. Let's go this way. Proper ones on the front, and then these on the reverse. So we've got lots of reds in there. Nice scenes here. So I'll turn that one over. And then we've got these are lovely trees. So nice subtle shades in here. They'd probably go with what I'm using tonight. But anyway, so that's that one. And the back has got another different scene. Christmas tree there, and a part of a tree that's fallen to pieces. And this is a nice sort of like a strange sky, this one. The sort of sunsetty colours, and then the subtles on the back with the minty colours. I don't know all the names of the colours in here yet. I haven't looked at all of those. So then this one we have, oh look at that, the lovely little log cabin. You can see those, can't you? The log cabin and the little twinkly trees up the lights up the tree. So that's another nice one. This one's kind of a strange one. It's like an aerial shot coming down from the top, and you've got footprints here going through the snow, and then you've got the blues on the back. Always love a nice stripe. It's an uneven, lovely and variegated background. It's really nice on that. Okay, and then there's another subtles. So, and on the back of this one we've got a nice sort of like a watery scene, really. It looks like water to me. I don't think it is. I think it's just the blues. Some rocks in the front there, might be. Okay, so that's that one. This is a lovely little cute deer in the middle there. Look, cute little fella. And some mossy meadow on the back. And this is just a little decorated background and another bluey scene. So those two again go nicely together. Mostly the fronts and backs always coordinate lovely. Another scene there with some nice sort of like like a checker, sort of like footpathy type background. And then spark sort of like colours there. And a little fox in the foreground there. Cute little fellow. So that's that one. And then another scene, last one, with fir trees and the snow up the bark of this one and a red on the back. So a lovely bundle of papers. Now they were brought out with the sleigh set. Now I've got my bag here ready because I keep these in a Ziploc bag there for now. So it's just handy size to keep them together. But the other set that came with for mine, I was waiting to see what else came next. Hi Marilyn, you're welcome. Is trucking along. Now I'll take this out of the plastic so it doesn't glare. Put that in my recycling. So this is the truck punch. Can you see that if I catch the light on it without dazzling you too much? So it's got the truck, it's got the hubcap, it's got the round for the wheels, and it's got the little window as well. So it's got all of those component pieces in the back there. Really, really nice. And the stamp set, we have had a truck a long while ago, but it was with, I don't even think it was with dies. It's certainly not a punch, but I think it was just the truck set, and they had different things like this that go in the back. So it's very similar, but totally different. And the fact it's got a punch, we love a good punch bundle. I will definitely be running a class with this. Definitely. So I think it's going to, I can't wait to get this. I've got so many ideas for it. Yes, absolutely. There's loads out there already. The design team work with Stampin Up, and the artisan team, they are already have already had it and sharing lots of cards. So really loving this set. So, but I would say it's going to be, I don't know the quantities. I don't know if they've stocked more of this one, but I think it's going to be a high demand. So I would say don't wait around. If anyone is interested in coming to any of my retreats here in Norfolk, then please either get the set and then let me know when you book the retreat, or tell me, because I really want to get enough copies of this for retreat people to use as part of their £100 products that they get for the whole weekend. All right, so this is one of the ones I will be using a lot, so you will see this is coming up a lot. So I wanted just to tell you about those, A, because they're hot off the press, and B, because they are going to be in very high demand. Okay, so let's get back to tonight. I'm going to be doing, yay, another class with this set will be brilliant. Absolutely, of course. So coffee with friends. Okay, this is, I had some hostess money, because I've been ordering too much, and I really love this one, and I thought I will get it, and it was great for doing the watercolouring. So I will literally be doing some, I am winging it because I haven't had a chance to play. There's a fly in here, sorry about that. I'll try my best to catch him. So it's so hot off the press, I'm just going to mount these. So while I'm chatting to you, I will show you how I mount my stamps. Okay, I've had a long day out today, an appointment middle of the day, and then meeting up with customer this morning, and then another customer this afternoon. So that was quite nice. That's going to be aimed at my bin over there, which it went in. So all of our stamps have this, the printed matter on one side, okay, and then on the back here there is a crack down the middle of each one. So I split these off, just one stamp at a time, and I will find the respective partner to it. Okay, I peel the whole backing off here. Okay, and I do need my glasses, guys. And I start off in the lowest point here because it's nearest to me, and match that up. And then whilst holding that one down, I aim at the top piece there, and the rest should fall into place. Then I grab a block, run this over the back nice and firmly, iron out any bubbles, peel it off, and I will put this in the case relative to where it was on the front here. Now the images will be in reverse because we're sticking them upside down. I know some people like to put the mount back in there. I find that extremely awkward because when you've got the waste rubber and you've got these wedged in, you can't get them out. you've got to get in there, and you're kind of picking it between a slit in the rubber, and I just find that they don't really work for me, but each to their own. So I'm just showing you how I like to do them. I think I'm nearly off the bottom there a little bit. Out the way. So this is the big one, and I'm going to line up in this bottom left hand corner. I work my way around there, and I come over to here, and it should just flop back into position. It just helps you make sure that there's no air bubbles in there. Okay, so that one's going to go in this corner. I'll leave it over there so I don't have to keep moving, just to speed things along. I have absolutely no real idea what I'm going to do, other than I wanted to use the croissant set. So this one here, I've just peeled off the next one. So nails do help with getting these off the back. If you ever have a symmetrical stamp, like a circle, just make sure that it's the right way up and it's not upside down. Okay, these ones are all different, so we will be fine. Okay, just run that. Okay. And my hot news of the week is our visitors are now back in Ukraine. They went home on Monday, so we now have our house to ourselves. They might be back in September for the autumn term at school. They have a place, but that would be on a rental basis. So we've done 14 months, but what it does mean is I can now pick up my classes, etc., and I have the bedrooms all back to normal, or I will have very shortly. So things will start heating up again, which is really good. We've done our bit, and I'm really looking forward to. So if I will be having some days where you could just come along and bring your own projects. I was talking about that today. So you can, I call them unfinished objects, UFOs, unfinished objects. So if you have anything you want to come along, I'll charge just a very nominal charge for the day, and you use all my equipment. You use anything that I've got that you want to use to finish off your project. You use my machines. I've got 4 big shots, the cut and emboss machines, and you can just use everything, the inks, everything that coordinates, and just get a lot of things done, and we can all work together finishing our projects or binge creating. So if you want to do Christmas cards, yes, Shaz, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we have had a lot of challenges that have, yeah, that's all I'll say. You can touch base personally if anybody wants to, but we have had a lot of challenges. I say Mum's always been great, but yeah, we have had some. So now it's onwards and upwards, and I will be spending the summer getting back up to speed, and you'll be hearing a lot more from me. I'm going to try and get my social media more active, but it's really the big things, like the big classes and the big retreats and things. So we're in a transition period, but moving upwards. So there we go. Oh, nearly upside down. Wouldn't have fitted with it. So my jigsaw pieces will always go to the shape. You probably can't see on the camera where the shapes are, but the shape will give you the details as to where to go. Binge creating. Absolutely. Hi, Angie. Nice to see you. Well, people like to binge create like Christmas cards or thank you cards, or I've got swaps to do, haven't I, for Vegas leadership meet convention. So it's like yeah, we've got lots to do, and I've got lots of pieces partly finished. So hey, they're going to get sorted, and it's good fun time because everyone can just chill, no stress. Okay, just a sec. Oh, Linda. Linda, you love everything I bring up. You're like me, you love the whole catalogue. Sneaking on at work. Shh. You have to do a mini scrapbook for your brother's 40th. Absolutely, yes. Nothing will phase us. I'm just going to bring that back a sec, because if you think about this on here, this is spare cling. Now this particular set has got a big wide piece here that wasn't used. If you have any of the really old sets that were the old style cling, they were not sticky, it's just they clung to an acrylic block. And they didn't tend to adhere that well, but if you want to make them like the new ones that are super sticky, I save my waste sheets. Okay, I only keep the width of one of these, so I fill one of these cases and that is all I keep, and the rest get thrown away. But like this one, because there's a big wide piece on there, I will keep that one, and you can transform your very old ones, your old favourites you want to keep, into super cling. So it is a good thing to do. So I'm just going to put that back over there. So we now have a completed set, and this is the one I want to focus on today, and I thought I'm going to go small. Okay, I did a couple of big ones recently, so I'm going to go small with this. I've only got relative number of blocks with me today, so but this one is really cute, and I've got in mind, David goes in, he's got a couple of coffee shops he goes into, and I thought this would be nice to make a little set for them, a bit of publicity, a bit of a thank you for them. And I do have an ulterior motive as always, and it's gonna, hopefully it's gonna pay off with my other projects that I still can't show you yet, but should get delivered on Friday morning. Okay, that is going to be a real treat. I have got lots of photos. I will share them with you online once the recipient has got. And yeah, that's really exciting. I've shown some other people and really going well. So hey, we'll see. So I'm going to be using one of our little note cards again, and they do come in vanilla as well as the white. Don't use these as much. Oh, look, ready folded. That's a good one. And there's an envelope, so we can stamp a little corner of that. I have got on here my layers. I'll just pop them over there. I am going to use the watercolour paper again. Now, this isn't white and it's not vanilla. It is that in-between colour. So I have white here. Just going to grab you a piece of the Whisper White. So I wanted you to see the difference between the two. So this is Whisper White. This is very vanilla. Okay, you've got your yellowy tinge to it. And then in the middle, you have this one. It's not the white, but it's not the vanilla. So if you're stamping to colour things in, I am going to use the watercolour paper again, because I want to show you the watercolour pencils tonight. As my header shared, it is using the pencils efficiently. So I'm going to chop this in half. Now, can you remember we said last week this was 7 inches, didn't we? And if in doubt and you don't have a ruler to hand, turn over your grid paper and it is 7 inches. Can you see that on there? So one side is inches and one side is centimetres. I nearly convinced somebody to buy this, and they nearly were purchasing it, and then they decided they get lots of junk mail. Actually, they can use the reverse of. So they're using that for the time being. And then the other width was 5, so I'm going to cut it this way at 2.5. Okay, with that size. So I'll leave one as half a sheet, and there's the other quarter sheet. Over there. Now I've no idea why that's just started, but I've got a bit of tinnitus. I can hear a ringing in my ear. Tell you on Sunday. Oh yeah, yes, I will definitely share. Yes, I can share the photos on. I can put the photos up on screen here. I will let you see the project. It is really nice, and I'm going to hopefully incorporate it as part of a class. Yeah, it will all evolve. So just bear with me for now until I've spoken to the person concerned. So this I thought would be a really nice little card with the croissants on there. I want to do some watermark on the background. I will break up these two layers so they will not be side by side, because I don't like white and cream together. Okay. There. Yeah, just trying to glance at the comments there. I won't keep these together. There will be layers. I've brought my whole container of my browns over and we will work through. Do we think this should be coffee or tea? And are we going to have in the colours really? I want a colour on the cup and saucer. The croissants need to be like a goldeny colour. And yeah, we'll play with that one. And we'll work with the greetings on that set. Pop this one out of the way for now, the envelope, just get rid of that one. Now, what have I got here in front of me? Oh, that was lucky, because that's what I wanted. Okay, I might use that one. Put that on top. Sorry, I've got a squeaky chair. Chair's got moved round, and I am squeaking. So the colours we do on here are going to be determined by what colours I choose to use. Now, Wild Wheat was sitting on the table anyway. That's kind of like a tea colour, so the liquid could be that colour. The new colours I showed you on Sunday. Where are we? Wednesday today, aren't we? Sunday. I showed you colouring with these and how you can colour onto a block or a piece of acetate, etc. So you can use those as watercolouring. And I also have the pencils in the bog standard colours. Now there's two sets. In the catalogue you'll find set 1 and set 2. So there's actually 2 lots in there. And I think roughly these were the colours. There's French dip their croissants in their coffee. I am not a coffee lover. I love coffee flavoured things. So if you ever ask me one of the unusual things about me, that could be one I could add. I love coffee flavoured things, but I don't like to drink coffee. I hate coffee. Love the smell of freshly brewed coffee, but I won't touch coffee to my lips. No. Long story, goes back to my childhood, but hey. So this is one set, and then on the other there was this set. Now they have changed very slightly with the colour refresh. So these are the older ones that I've had for a while. Okay, so just bear that in mind. I keep mine in a deeper box, one of the old boxes, and I keep the blender pens I've already used and shown you. I keep water brushes, a Wink of Stella using as a water brush. Yeah, and I've got the aqua paint as separate. So we'll just pull out some browns from there and see what we've got. That's a red. So that's an espresso, I should think. Yes, early espresso. Cajun Craze. I've got both of those in here, but I've also got copper clay, so I won't have that in the new pencils. Soft suede has, no, that's crushed curry, but it looks more brown. I don't think we'll need that. That might stand in with that one though. What else have we got in there? That's all the browns. Yep, okay, so let's put them out of the way and we'll get to work with those 3 and the inks, and we might come back to those. And then that will determine what colour layer I put through there. Now I want to do some watermarking on the background here. So if I'm going to keep to those kind of tones, I'm going to try this with Lemon Lolly. It might be too yellow, but it might be better with the Wild Wheat stamped off, because this is more the brownie sort of like colours. Yeah, latte, like that. You're allergic to coffee? Good, we'll get on well then. I'm the other way. I don't like coffee flavoured anything. Yeah, I love a latte. Oh, that's funny. So I do have scraps of Very Vanilla there. Okay, so let's take the lid off that. All my scraps in here, and we will play. So I'm going to just test this. I think this is going to be too yellow, so I'm going to discard that straight away. I'm going to have to change this chair later. So in here, just for a test, I'm going to stamp. I have to go left to right, right to left, sorry. So this is a piece of Very Vanilla. Okay, that's stamped off, and then second generation, we have that. Now I think that as a background might be better. Okay, it's kind of got that yellowy hue through. That's quite a deep colour. I don't really want it that dark. So let's see how this is going to look anyway. Okay, so I'm going to use this top right hand corner when I'm using the mat, I tend to use this as my stamping pad. So I always get the ink on there, and when you're stamping off, you can pile it all on top of each other. There's no hard and fast rules. Just stamp it randomly. Stamp it off and onto your card. Stamp it off and onto your card. Don't have all your images regimental. You don't want them all lined up like little soldiers. I'm just going to fold that over and do the corner, because it's slightly over there, so I didn't want that to go in the back. They can be at jaunty angles as well. Okay, stamp it off, stamp it on there, stamp it off, and put the little one down there. Stamp it off, and we'll have another one coming in there. Okay, so that's just a little bit of a background there, and we're going to layer up on top of that, so you're not going to see all of it. It's just going to form the background. You kind of want it to be all random. Okay, don't need that piece now, so take that one away. What I need to find next is my Simply Chamois. It's right under there. I don't want to stretch over the camera here, so what can I do? I'm going to pop that over, and then you won't see my head butting in front of you. Oh no, it's not there. It's not there. Okay, I'll bring you back. Oh, it's not there. Can I see a Simply Chamois? I haven't taken it anywhere with me, so it should be within eyesight. I'm going to have to make a little sin then tonight and grab. Oh, it has vermoosed. I'm going to have to use these tonight. They've probably gone somewhere to be washed and been left in the bathroom soaking or something. So you will use a wet wipe. I don't advise you to use a wet wipe. This is just as an emergency. Okay, because I haven't got the others, and I will clean them properly once I come off air. Okay, the other thing with wet wipes is these are water-based ones, so there is only water in there. I only normally use wet wipes for my hands and my equipment, and I just dab that on there just to dry it and make sure it's nice and clean for us to stamp our image. So I'm going to stamp in the image in the black, okay, because it's a permanent ink. And I'm going to use Stays On, which I know is on the table. I had it in my hands. Tile. Oh, look at this. It's here. It hasn't been put away. I saw it before I came on air. Sorry, ladies. It is nestling. There we go. It was there, just hidden. Okay, so this is the one, if you weren't joining me the other night, this is Stays On is the ink that smells of almonds. So you have to have a quick sniff test if you're not allergic to almonds, as somebody said the other day. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this at the top sort of third there. Okay. And lift that off. It's not that brilliant actually. We do have another side. I have re-inked this recently, so I'm going to turn it over. If you have a smaller stamp, sometimes it's better to actually go over it. You've got more pressure coming down onto the stamp. So if you stamp, 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 you're inking that and giving it a really good going, and then that, because it is a permanent ink pad. But I know I've re-inked it a few days ago. So press that nice and firmly and lift off, and there is our image. Okay, so there's our cups and saucers and our croissants. So I want to have the sheets in there you see are totally whole, the whole sheets, but I do want to do another one because I want to fussy cut a 3D layer. Okay, Okay, so I'm just going to come round here. Now, I know I'm a fussy cut queen. Trying not to jiggle you, sorry girls. And I'll put this straight onto my lid. There. So I'm just going to do this up into the corner. And this one will be the one I 3D. And a fussy cut out, and then I will mount it on 3D pads. Okay, there's another one. I will take the worst of the stays on off on here. The rubber ones we can use the stays on cleaner. If you are very quick and you literally clean it immediately, you can actually get stays on off with the chamois or with a wet wipe. Okay, so that saves it from staining. So you do have to work quickly, and then I dry it with a piece of paper towel. Okay, and just pat that dry. Okay, and there we are, as good as new. Okay, so we'll pop that to one side. Now we're going to fussy cut this one. So I'm going to just rough cut this and leave that with a little handle on there. So that's where I'm going to touch it and hold it. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one as is, and then we're going to put the sentiment under here. This will be 3D'd and it will be matted up there, and then we will mat some layers and do some decoration with it as well. So this is the one I'm going to be colouring. So I'm going to zoom you in so you can come right into the camera. And there we go, so you can see that piece. So using your watercolour pencils, okay, I'm going to use the scrap round here to show you. I'm going to be using the water painters. I've detailed these on the previous video, so that was on Sunday. I went through those, I believe. And they are water-based. They've been filled up with water in there already. You unscrew the barrel. These barrels on these ones go the opposite way to what you'd expect. You'd expect to unscrew towards you. These go away from you. Okay, I won't do it because I've got water in there. And then all you do to use them is to squeeze some water through the nib. It's making sure that it's clean from the last time you used it, and I just stroke it on the paper towel like so. Okay, you don't want to scrub it, you'll ruin the bristles. Okay, so I leave it clean, but I always refresh it and make sure it is when I start. So the colours, what did we say with regards to colours? Binge creator, yeah. I thought somebody said about colours. No, maybe I missed it. I'm just scrolling through your comments. So I'm going to just test some of these colours really. So this one is the Cajun Crush Curry, which is like the wild wheat colour, but it's the newer version. Just a different type of shade. So I'm going to just take this. Now this is when I say about being economical. If you want to watercolour, if you just colour with that pencil on here, okay, you can do that perfectly normally like that, and then you can take your nib and you can actually blend that in, and you can stretch those colours out and you can make it lighter and darker, and just by pushing that around the water. Okay, this is because it's on watercolour card. Okay, and I will just wipe my pen just beside there. Now if you wanted to do it another way, you can, when you do that, I would strongly advise that you don't sharpen these to an absolute point. Okay, it's very easy to get carried away. In my box, both those sets are exactly the same age. All my pencils are really nice and long. I've had them for years, except if I show you those ones, oh, you can't see the benefit of this. Sorry, I'll just come out a bit. Okay, so that is the full length of the pencil. It's very easy to get carried away with a little pencil sharpener that I keep in my bag. Okay, and I take that out when I do classes now. I don't leave it in there because people will get carried away, and that is what happens. Okay, my yellow is half the size because everyone kept sharpening away and I didn't watch what they were doing, and because I'm trying to get a sharp point on the end there. Okay, it really doesn't need to be sharp point. Okay, so we'll come back to the one I was using, and then we're going to take the water. You've got a wet nib on your paintbrush, and you're going to literally wipe that on the nib up here. Okay, you will end up painting a bit of the wood. Really doesn't matter. You're just going to take that ink onto the pen. Okay, and you're going to paint with that here. Okay, and the water will continue flowing. You can stretch it out just as we did before. But instead of colouring and you've got to push the lines out, you're actually it's going on smooth, absolutely smoothly. Okay, and you can stretch that around as you need. Okay, so hope that helps. You hardly ever sharpen yours. Yeah, you don't need to. Very, very rarely. Once you've worn all that down and there's no coloured pencil left that you can see, then you have to take a few turns off and then have that stubby bit. Don't worry about getting it to a point. Just keep it as it is. So I think that's about a croissant colour actually. And it is like the wild wheat. So I'm just going to come in and put some colour on these. They've been cooked. They're a nice golden brown. Okay, and the stays on is better for using with watercolouring. Okay, so just bear that in mind. The memento was introduced for the blender pens because it's alcohol. It will stand the alcohol stamping. Okay, so there's one croissant, and then we've got another one over here. As long as you keep a piece to get hold of, it's quite handy. You can move it around. Just keep tapping the nib of your pencil. Hopefully you can see me on there. And that's going to come there. And when you think you've got it dark, I will repeat a bit of Sunday because we were overlapping some of the bits. You might find that you think it's a little bit on the dark side, so squeeze this through on the paper towel. Okay, so you've got a clean nib, and then you're going to go over this with the water, just purely the water. Okay, find a clean piece of tissue and blot it. Okay, and that will lighten. And you can see how that's lifted most of that colour away. If I was to do the same over here, just get it wet, clean piece of paper towel and blot it. Okay, that's showing how to take it off, and then you can put back on, obviously, to the colour that you want. We want a nice pale golden. So who's with me on the pale golden and who's on the really crunchy dark crispy? Okay, pale or crunchy? Pale or crisp, shall we say? Okay, the blotting is a really good technique. Who's put that? Linda. Yeah, the blotting's a really good technique because it's a very forgiving. The water-based ones are very forgiving. The alcohol ones, once they're down, they're down. You can't bleed those, only with the colour lifter, and that just helps you blend the colours. It does lift a little bit out, but this is very much more forgiving. Okay, and then I want to go darker, so I'm going to go. We want a bit of colour in here, or shall we just keep monotone? Let's try for the coffee with the espresso. Okay, so again, I'm going to just take this off the end of the pencil. I'm going to bring this up. You probably can't see it, but can you see on the wood just here, there is some glitter on the end of that pencil? That's because I've used it with the water, using the Wink of Stella, an empty one, as a water brush, because that is a free water brush basically. Once the Wink of Stella is empty, you can use that as a water brush. So I'm just using very little on there. If you want to wet your brush, just squeeze it on kitchen paper. Don't do it over your project in case it suddenly does a little puddle. Okay, just taking a little bit more colour off there. Try not to go too dark on the actual liquid. Okay, but I think keeping it in the right tones, I'm going to try and make this cup quite dark. So if you go back to that little scrap that I had, go back to the that was a different cream, wasn't it? Do it on the back of this scrap. Just want to try and get that nice and dark so you can see the difference. So you just keep taking more colour, concentrated colour, and painting with it dark. I think that'll be fine. So I'm going to do the cups that colour. But you could choose to do the cups whatever colour you'd like to do. You could have them as a contrast colour. They are coffee, so we're going to go for the darkest side. As long as we can see the features, we want to see where the handles and the saucer, etc. are. Okay. Bring that round. So have we got crisp, pale, pale, crisp? Oh, so we've got two each way at the moment. So that's good. Nice and even Stevens. Okay, so I'm holding this, so my finger is holding the paper down, but I'm gripping my pencil, so I'm not having to move far, so it's all near and handy. Okay, and the water in the brush is just pushing that round. Okay, I think I might do my spoon in a grey colour for imitating a stainless steel spoon. I'm just tapping it on there and bringing that round. Okay, the blotting technique I just showed you, you can also use we're going to fussy cut this anyway, but if you went over the edges and you really didn't mean to go over the edge, very, very slightly. I do use the fine tip on these brushes for detailed like this, but there's the broader nib and then the wash one we did use the other day. Yeah, if you go over the edge a little bit, you could actually clean your brush, pop some clean water on it and blot it, and keep doing that until it blots away. Now I'm going to colour around the back of on the inside of the cup as well, so I'm going to make the rim around the back there stand out as well. So I want that to be fairly dark. There's no real detail on there. Okay, and then you've got the colour in the middle for the drink. So I've got to make this a contrast. Okay, and you can layer up with this. You can just go back and take some more, get it nice and concentrated on there. Around the look, that's better. Around the back of that rim. There you go, and that just brings it all together. So you've got two-tone. Bit of concentrate around the back. I've just realised, since I've been home, I haven't actually had a drink yet. I had plenty of cups of tea while I was out this afternoon, but I haven't actually had a drink, and I've got no water in here. Yeah, instead of colouring in first, and you're not moving, you're literally just tapping your end of your pencil and bringing that in, making these a little bit darker now as I'm going. Okay, we've put one layer down. I'm just making them that stronger colour to stand out from the liquid. But you could have this nice, you could do cups you could do in pink and purple dots. You can do whatever you liked, literally. There's another technique as well, paper piecing. And if you really, really like your fussy cutting, like Sandra, you could actually stamp these again onto some very small print paper and then fussy cut the cups. So you've actually got DSP cups and you stick them on. Okay, but that's if you're very, very dedicated. I don't think for something this small I would be inclined to do that. Okay, so how are they coming together? Are they looking okay? So now I'm just going to change to the grey colour. Pull a grey out of my box here. There's a grey. So I'm squeezing my brush out off the camera and just changing colour. So again, I'll hold the brush. Okay, if you want to, you can turn it over and use a little corner on there. Just that clean brush onto the grey nib. Okay, you can still see me there, can't you? And then you're going to colour with that and make sure you're happy, and it gets lighter as you go. So you literally, all I'm painting here is the spoon. Kind of wanted it to be grey to make it look silver stainless steel. Try not to pick up your other colours round, because it would pick up the brown, the espresso, if you got too close. You can build it up until you get the right layers, the right colours. There we go. Clean my brush up on the right there. Pop that back there and I'll clean that later. Colours are back in my tray. And if I cut that piece off the side there, colours distract you. So if you've got that on there, that will just look a little bit awkward. And then I'll bring that up to the camera and you can see. Oh bless, so you can zoom in. So you've got croissants. Excuse me. Got croissants there, and you've got your coffee cups, and then you've got your grey for your little stainless steel spoon there. Okay, so we're going to map that up on here. We're going to build that one up. Like I say, I am winging it tonight. I do want layers, but this is going to determine what we do with the layers. So I'm going to grab my scissors. I've got a pair here, but I think the other pair over there are my better ones. I've got 4 pairs of the scissors. Let's grab those over. And they're in different degrees of sharpness. So let's start with these ones and see how we go. So a little bit of fussy cutting tonight. The detail under here, the little crumbs, will stay behind on the other stamp. So you'll still see them. You're not actually cutting them away. Okay, and you're just going to work your way around, just cutting around the outside. Sometimes it's easier just to cut away the excess. I know it's not loads, but if you cut away the excess, then you've got less to hold in your hand. It will make sense. Okay, so that's the most of it gone. So now I've got less in here. It's less heavy and it's less cumbersome when you're cutting pieces off. So you're just going to follow along the outer rim. Hopefully you can see that. Nice and big. And I'm cutting on the outside of the lip rim there because you've got the double layer, double edge of the saucer. So I'm going to work out which week I'll do it, but one of these I'm going to suggest that you bring your watercolour pencils or any watercolouring medium and a brush to the table and pre-stamp an image. So it might even be one towards the end perhaps, and we will have you painting along with Sandra. So watercolour with Sandra. And actually do something alongside me, and I'll go through tips and tricks as we go, just recapping on some. Just turning that and coming around. As you see, I'm moving the piece of paper with this hand, with my left hand, and my scissors are staying relatively still and just closing as I need to cut. If this gets in the way, snip it off, pop it in the bin and come back. Okay, you don't want to be holding extra bits you don't need. They just get in the way and they distract you. That'll be great. You're going to paint along with, colour along with me, watercolour with me. Okay, we'll sort that out. So start thinking about a stamp set that you've got that would be good for watercolouring. Another good one that I had around, where have I put it? If you've got, I've put it away now. Is the in the moment? That's a nice one with the ladies on it, with the ladies by the window and drinking coffee or sitting in bed with a book. That's another nice one to watercolour. In fact, I might even use that one. Okay, I want to use this because it's hot off the press. It's in the Annual Catalogue. So there you go, that's my last bit. So there is my 3D image. Okay, so that's ready to be stuck on. So now we start with colours. Now I used espresso. So I think I'm going to take a piece of the espresso. And if we've got a piece, oh, look at that. That would do. We'll make that one do. Is that one a little bit wider? Yeah, that might be wider. We'll use that one. So you know I like to recycle. But also we kind of need another colour coming in there as well. So, how's about, I don't know if this is going to work, so we hold a piece of this up to the card, then we find the sizes we want in a little while. So this, I do like my matte layers and I like to choose them like so, but we need to include this being on top there. Okay. I haven't got the wild wheat. I'm wondering whether I use wild wheat actually, which is the yellowy colour. Let me see if I can go find that quickly. It should be on the shelf behind me. Leave you watching that and see what you think about the colours. Okay. The Lighthouse Woodwork in the Moments Your Most Used set. Definitely. Craft along. We'll definitely do it. We'll set a date and I'll put it up on the page. Just do some wild wheat because we've used that for the ink on the background. We'll see how that goes. Oops. That sleeve is split at the bottom. That needs replacing. So let's just go with That's going to come on here. It might not work, it might. Okay, so we can go to the wild wheat and the espresso. So how would that sort of colour combination look for you? Does that work for you, do you think? I think it probably does. I'm going to go with those ones. Okay, we'll pop that back in the packet. Plenty of other time to use other colours. So again, I'm winging it tonight. So what am I going to do? I'm going to pop this on here and wing it to my layers. I'm going to take a pencil. Okay, and I'm going to put a little mark here. The same distance as this, and then this one the same distance as that here. All right, so I'm going to cut that one first. So I bring back my little trimmer. Maybe it'll be the big trimmer because that card's too big to get in there. So this little mark here is going to go in my cutting track. This dark one down here is going to line up in the middle. Okay, and we'll come down there. Discard that. And then I'll come along here, find this little one, and that'll come in the bottom track. So it's right in the middle there. And then we'll cut that. Then we pop those over there. Then we come back and we just check that. Now I turn that over because I want to make sure that the pencil mark doesn't get shown. Okay, like so. And then we'll do exactly the same for the other one. Okay, so we can put this one to that one. And we're going to layer that onto there. That is just a tiniest little bit, really, really narrow. Are we going to like that? No, we do need a wider piece than that. It's good that you see my brain working. Hopefully you see my brain working. So you can see how I do things and it makes it easier for you guys. So I'm going to have a little bit of a bigger border on this one because that was a more prominent colour. And I'm going to take that pencil and I'm going to just make a mark on there and a mark on here. Make sure that you can see them. This gap along here will be the same as that, and that one there will be the same as that. Okay, and my little trimmer will work. So this time I'm doing it on the mini cutter, and this is on my cutting blade down there, and then this one will be on the cutting blade at the top. Okay, just two different trimmers, just however it works for you. Those are my scraps. You see, I like doing my matte layers and then I end up several things the same kind of direction, and that will work on there. This will work on here. I'm going to stick this one on here so I don't lose it, because that's my kind of, let's say. Where have I been this week? I know where it is. Yesterday. Where was I yesterday? Started using the pencil technique when layering. That's good. This is my tool caddy. I was away yesterday. I was out and I went to a parchment workshop. I've done parchment many years ago and self-taught. I went with a friend. We went to a class, a local one on a Saturday morning, and it's many years ago, and we decided that we didn't like using templates that we were tracing that weren't square. They were copies of copies, and they deteriorate over time, and they got so crooked and so not good that you did all the work and then realised it didn't work. So we decided we would just get together and have a day together and teach each other, just pick up tips along the way. So we bought the Parchment magazine and we did teach ourselves. So I still have all the tools, and it was nice because they were friends of mine, customers of mine, Stampin Up customers, who run a group that do something different every month, and I loved it. It was a brilliant day. So I had all my tools away. That's why I haven't got everything on the table. So that's that one. We need a greeting for it. We need to find the stamp set again that I have covered and see what sentiment we'd like to have on there. Can afford to have quite a bigger greeting on there. We might mess about with this. Having done that, I might have something coming off as a banner off the side. Glasses down. Can you see these greetings with me? Coffee with a friend is like happiness in a cup. Sometimes you just have to heat your coffee one more time and try again. I quite like that one because that's me with my tea. And you've got let's get together soon. I think I'm going to use this one because it's a bigger greeting and it's going to fit in that gap really nicely. So I'm going to take that one. There will be a set created with this. And I'll take it in as a little gift for David's lady in the coffee shop. Okay, so we're going to stamp this because it's the first time of inking. That's the other thing with this. When I went with the croissants, it was the first time it'd ever been inked up. So I like to do that and just check it over here. And yeah, that's going to be fine. We're going to be good. So this one's going to go in the middle here. I do want to see. Let's just see. Sorry, my brain cells are going again. I'm just wondering if that would work on an oval. No, it won't. That's all right. I want to do something more with it. I'm asking advice here, what you think would work. I'm going to put these 2 layers together. 2 will be matted and then they'll be jumped up on pads. So it's going to be kind of like that. But the greeting, I don't want to just plonk it in the middle. I want to do something with it. So I might stamp it on here and do a banner. I have the Wild Wheat is one of the ink colours. I have the ribbon, so let's use some ribbon. Okay, there we go. This is a bobbly paper because it is watercolour paper. I did that one with Memento, but that could sit across there as a banner, cut close, and then have a banner either side with the Wild Wheat and a little bit of ribbon. So I'm going to straighten this up now and come just to the top edge of that. Line up your words straight with the edge of your trimmer. Make that first cut, turn it round, and then come in the other side on the bottom edge and line it up on whichever line will go nearest to you, or make your own. So if it's a little bit further in, just keep it parallel with one of the other lines. Okay, cut there. So I think that would be straight. I just need to shorten it slightly. Okay, just test the width. This one is 3/4 and a bit. That end is 3/4 and a little bit. Yeah, that's not quite straight. It just could do with a little shaving off there. Just a little tiny bit. Okay, and I will take another bit off the end. Get that central. I think it's going to be like so. Okay, and then we're going to get this out of the way, and we're going to use the Wild Wheat again that we used earlier. I don't have a scrap of that one yet. I don't have a scrap, so I'm going to have to make a little scrap. So that was 3/4 and a little tiny bit. So I'm going to take this one at a 1 inch, and we can always trim it down from there. Take a strip off there. I have got a scrap somewhere because I made some earlier, didn't I? Don't know what I've done with it. Maybe twine. Yeah, I haven't got the twine in this one yet. I was going to dovetail these ends on here. So if we layer this up, we're not going to put the greeting directly on here, so I'm going to actually put these together now. Let's do that first. So let's just get those together. I like to do one layer flat and then another layer. If you've got more than one colour, I then raise those up. Okay. The twine wrapped right round would look nice, but it wouldn't be in the relevant colours unless there's some neutrals in there. Let's just see. that's the wild wheat I was looking at. I have gold. I have some linen thread that might work as well. The gold won't, it's too brassy. So here we have, this is the Baker's Twine Essentials pack, and you actually get 5 colours in there. That comes with the white. Okay, so you get the different shades, your greys, your blacks, your ivory. They're really nice. This one is the linen thread. So I might use linen thread because it's more natural looking. So try that one. Could be too heavy. That wants to go on there like so. And this can wrap round. And I know what I can do. Something you might not have seen me do yet. Okay, doke. I've got a plan. I have a plan. I'm going to use my larger pads. So again, I can show you snipping these edgy bits. Okay, so we use all the bits of our dimensionals. Nothing goes to waste. There's always something we can use. Okay, 1 in each corner. They're not seen, so it really doesn't matter if they're not square. Okay, some more bits. Take a big chunk in the middle, that'll be all right. So get that one ready to go down. Okay, because we're going to go like so. This one is going to sit flat, so I've got to stick it down because it keeps jumping about. So we do even Stevens around the sides. And I'm going to just move that one over very, very slightly because the score line is bugging me because it's not quite straight. There we go. That's all nice and flush now. Okay, so that's only 2 layers to contend with now. Now, I kind of quite like a piece of twine hanging off the ends. So cut a length like so, make it nice and straight. And then we want a piece kind of the same length this side. So try that. Okay, if we pop that on like so, it's going to be raised, it's there with the heads on. Then this one, if I shorten this, what I can actually have is over to one side, maybe this side, and have a banner flag this end. So I'm going to shorten these. If you use your longer scissors, you get a nice clean straight cut. And then these ones, glasses down. I'm going to leave enough to wrap some twine round, and I'm going to do a little snip V end in here. So into the centre, then into that centre piece, and into that centre piece to make a V. Okay, so there's a nice even V. That's going to come straight onto this matte layer here. Okay, we'll stick that one down and then wrap the twine around the end of this piece. I'm sure I've done this before with you. Can't remember when. So this is just going to mat that piece on there like so. Keep it a nice even border. So we went up 1/4 inch here. This is just over 3/4, and then the wild wheat is 1 inch. Take a tiny bit of glue, and then this we can snip away again, and we can snip this into the centre, so we get a double whammy. Can you see that? So we get that one coming in, and then this one coming in. Okay, you can always trim down, but you can't add back. Okay, so nice and even, tiny little shiver more. Little slither along there. Oops. There we go. Okay, so we're fixed on there. Now we're going to take our twine. We're going to have a little tail out. Okay, leave that to tie a knot with or a bow, and we're going to wrap that round a few times. Not many, just a few. Okay, and then we're going to tie this off at the top. So let's just hold that. I'm holding it down onto the table with my fingers, making a little bow. With the fine twine, it's easier to do a right over left and left over right first, so it stays still. It's got a knot on it. It's not going to go anywhere. And then you can tie your bow. So that's holding it in place. So that's what it's going to look like so. We can spread those out a little bit so you can see the beauty of it. Then we're going to just tie a bow. So loop there, around the corner and through the bottom. Now I do use my tweezers to come in here and take that tail back through. Okay, and there we go, there's our little bow. Just a little bit of detail, makes it look nice. Small bow, okay, and there we go. We can trim the ends when we're happy it's down. Okay, so this is now going to come straight onto here. Tweezers. Amazing how quickly the time goes away, especially when you haven't had a drink and you're thirsty. Are you still with me? Somebody's there, they said maybe do twine. So I'm going to go in the middle there like so. That's it. So this one can either go flat. I've raised this one now, so I think I might be inclined to keep this one flat like that. And I could lay that up with the edge of the card, so it's got some detail there and it's got the detail there, or we can stick it on the edge there. I think I'm going to keep the detail coming. You know me, I like my evens, don't I? I think like that might be nice. So I'm going to keep this one free. Put a little tiny strip of dimension on this end because it's going to be raised on the other one, and then we're going to put Tombow on the rest. Okay, and then just through the middle here. Okay, pick that up because that's gonna the little flap there is going to be 3D for where it's going to sit down there, and there we go. I didn't take the glue right to that end, did I? So we've got a little bit of a leeway there. A little trick just to come along there if you've got any excess adhesive. There we go. And then we can cut the tails. So you've got a curly tail there and a curly tail there to get rid of those. I didn't put the ribbon behind it in the end because I think there's enough colour on there. And of course we would put some gems on there. And what's appropriate for got some little brassy ones here. They might be a little bit too big for my card, I think. So I think I'll use the wild wheat ones out of this set. So these are the in colour milky dots. Yeah, in colour dots. So I'm going to use a couple of those. The tweezers. And just wiggle that to get rid of it. And I think I might just put one at the top and one at the bottom maybe. Okay, not left the glue behind. There we go. And there's our little bow. I just want to try and twist him slightly so he's not covering the words up. Okay, there we go. And there is our little finished card, look. Take my glasses off. And there we have, can you see that? There we go. So just balances that up, that end piece hanging off the end. Okay, and it's got the little bit of background around it. There's the fly, go away. Wound that round there just to give a bit of detail and a little bit of a bow. Okay, you can tweak that and place it where you want it. I kind of want it to show as a bow, but I don't want it covering the letters. Okay, there you go. So that's my watercolouring using them efficiently, your watercolour pencils efficiently, and taking it from the nib of the pencil. They will last you for absolutely ages. I've had those since they came out. Stampin' Up brought those out, and that's several years. And I do like to use them. It's just the yellow got used in a class, like I said, and it got shaved to within half of its size. So I hope you like that. And it's a small area to watercolour, but you've got some other little bits of technique in there as well. Okay, so I'll bring you back to me on the camera. So bring that back. There we go. I will set a date and I will work out in my diary what's going to be good for a watercolour along with me. And we'll set that date, and then you can have a project. I'll put some details in there to have an outline stamp and have watercolour, the different options we've been doing through the month, and what to bring along with you. And I'd say to have that pre-stamped ready, okay, and an idea how you're going to make your card. I might even do a sketch so you can kind of cut your layers to size. But we'll do it at the end of the month. Okay, we're nearly halfway through now, so it'll be towards the end. Okay, lovely to see you all tonight again, and I've overrun to what I normally do. So, but thanks for sticking with me. Glad you enjoyed my project. You know me, I love to share with you. So, pop it back again on